What's up? What's up,
Hey,
Charlie?
well, good evening. Withstanding the rains here in Waimea, was raining quite a
Yeah,
bit.
man, it was kind of
Yeah.
weird today. Off and on, off and on, off and on. Hot, like hot, blue skies, and then just I'm not
Yep.
showing a count. Oh, there we go. Yeah, for all 10 of you. What's up, guys? Happy Friday. Good Friday. Happy Good Friday, guys. Everybody, I
Yeah.
hope you guys having a good Friday.
Hmm.
As we approach Easter Sunday. Um, Again, share, please. Apologize. We're not going to be doing a Feel Good Friday today. Because we felt that we wanted to discuss some of the things that are going on. Get you guys feedback as well, because things are moving so quickly. Things are moving so quickly in the wrong direction, in my opinion. But it's moving quickly. I know a lot of people are excited. A lot of people are very excited and happy. A lot of people are concerned and worried. But
Hmm.
I think today, Charlie, it was very clear today. Hearing the news from the CDC, hearing our elected officials on various newscasts, this train is not going to be stopped. This train is on the track, and ain't nothing going to stop it. So, while I'm not saying we're throwing in the towel, what I'm saying is we deal with we deal with it. We deal with it.
Hmm.
This Veronica, this one here, is
Yep.
that the one? Yeah, at now how come I can't remember the name of the t-shirt shop?
Oh, Hana teeth.
Pauhana Tees. Pauhana Tees at Kukui Grove. That's where you get them. Or in Waimea.
Hmm.
Right when you hit Waimea town, right you come across the bridge that right on the right where the service station used to be. You'll see it there,
The
Pauhana
Miyaki
Tees.
building. Miyaki building.
Yeah, yeah. But that's it, man. Prayer changes everything, and I wore this on purpose. I wore this on purpose tonight, not because it's Good Friday, but because of what's going on in the world, and we definitely need prayer. So anyway,
Yep.
but yeah, Charlie, I today, and maybe I'm just naive, and maybe I was just an idiot. I thought maybe 3 days ago, whenever it was, where the CDC uh, director came
Hmm.
out and shared her concerns.
Off
I
script.
thought maybe our leaders, anyway, the mainland they run differently, but in Hawaii, I thought that they would have maybe woken up, and it didn't. No, it didn't. So anyway, that's where we're at, man. This train is not going to be stopped by us anyway. Us meaning the viewers, the public, the concerned ones, the ones that are sacrificing and playing everything safe.
Yep.
We're not going to do it, and it's a sad reality. Sad reality, Charlie.
Well, there's one thing to what I focus in on. When someone passes away from COVID, I always ask myself if they were at an age where and they were sickly and COVID came along and they lost their life to COVID. That's one thing. And we've always said one death is one too many, right? Nobody likes to see your loved one leave this earth. But when you don't have any morbidities that would account for why you got so sick that caused your passing, then the question remains if the person did not catch COVID, would their time be shortened? Would their life have been shortened that much? No, they would have lived out a pretty, a well-rounded life. So I think you talked about this earlier that maybe Honolulu thinks of two things: hospitalization and deaths. Well, I was mistaken. I thought the numbers they were yesterday. They weren't. But nevertheless, w- we keep on getting one death here, one death, you know, here, there. It keeps on adding up. And the thing is, was it that person's time to leave this earth? And I don't believe so. And I said that's the sad thing about it. So now we look at what everything is happening in Honolulu because everything is geared up. We're opening wide. Okay. If anything, this whole COVID has taught me, aside from me losing my brother, what it has taught me is that you got to be safe. And you remember when we were in recruit class, right? The agility. Nobody gonna get us past agility or the PT, right? You got to dig down deep within yourself to say, hey, I'm gonna run that 4 mile or I'm gonna run that 2 mile. I'm gonna make that time, right?
Mhm.
Nobody gonna say, Charlie, you know what? Jump on my back. I get you past. I go get you. No, 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 no. And it's just like what's happening now. We're at a point that we are going to have to really fend for ourselves and do it right. And then you're going to hear the rhetoric because when things start to get really bad, we're going to get blamed as always. We're going to get blamed, just like Maui. They're trying to talk sense into, and I can let you explain about that and what your read on that, Mel. But you know, they're going to blame the locals again, and I'm going to say I'm going to be in my little corner, quietly telling them, "Screw you, shut up already," because the locals are the only ones going to get tested. I'm very, very sure that there are travelers, Trans-Pacific travelers, who are not going to get tested because they don't want their vacation ruined. So when you talk about comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges, you comparing, one rotten tomato to a very, very fresh watermelon fruit, it's no comparison whatsoever. And I'm telling myself, as long as I know that, then I'm okay. I'm okay. I wish with the flick of a switch, we can make everybody safe. But there are those out there that just saying, you know what? I got the vaccine. I'm gonna do what I like do. Fine. But this is what I got to say. You know, don't be haphazard around me, because I will promise I will not be haphazard around you. But if you come in my space after I warn you not to do that, I'm just asking you kindly. You're not gonna like my response. And when it comes to me and my wife, I kiss the ground she walks on. I don't let her get near anybody that's not safe, that doesn't have a mask on. And I think that's where we're at right now, brother. I know how you feel, but the people, we led the charge and we gave it a good go because why? We had the experts come on and I mean the most recent Dr. Altenberg, he called it, maybe a few points lower than what is expected, but he called it on the nose. And someone who specializes in that, they are very, very integral to this entire equation about this COVID in the state.
Yeah. Okay, this is my last time request. Share, 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 share. Thank you.
Hmm.
Yeah, Charlie, bingo. Dr. Altenberg called it because that's what he does. That's what he studies it. He said if we continue the trends that we did in March, we'll be at 150. We're at 130, whatever.
33.
And it's going to go up. And then it's going to go down, during the weekend counts. But
Hmm.
I tell you, what I wanted to talk about tonight was how in the world did the position of the CDC change in 3 short days? What happened? Like what? Did all of a sudden all the results of the testing come out? No. What happened? Politics got in the way. This
No,
girl,
I found out. I found out. Because I was looking for some positions. Some people ask, "Oh, Uncle, you think get jobs because jobs are scarce right now, right? Even though everything is opening up." And I said, "You should go look in government." And they said, "I did." Then when I looked up, I said, "No, you better not, because in government, especially in federal government, especially in high positions like this girl you're talking about, I didn't know that part of the qualifications for that position is you have to be quietly wishy-washy. So we didn't know that in the beginning. Now it's evident. So as long as you have a wishy-washy background, you can serve in any administration. I tell you that right now.
Yeah. So she comes out and she talks. She makes a statement, and I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to pull it up because I think it's. Um, I had it on my screen and it's gone. But anyway, she went off script
Hmm.
and she said, "I'm going to go off script because I'm scared. I'm going to go off script because I'm not talking to you as a CDC director. I'm talking to you as a mom, as a parent, and she said that, and this 3 days ago, because of the increases in the cases throughout the country,
Right. Right.
because it's right here. Hang on. Because of the variance. So here is exactly where she said. She said, and it's right
Paragraph
here.
two. Yeah.
It's right here. She says, "I'm going to pause here. I'm going to lose the script, and I'm going to reflect on the recurring feeling I have of impending doom." Remember, this is just on the 29th of March. Walensky, whose voice wavered with emotion, pleaded with the public to continue practicing safety measures to prevent another surge. Quote, "I know the feeling of nausea when you read the crisis standards of care and you wonder whether there are going to be enough ventilators to go around," she said. "I'm speaking today not necessarily as your CDC director, not only as your CDC director, but as a wife, as a mother, as a daughter, to ask you to please just hold on a little longer." That was on the 29th of March, Charlie. 29th of March. And then her department, her exactly 3 days later, says this: "Fully vaccinated people can travel safely again," CDC says. The same lady, the same woman that was worried about impending doom, that asked everyone to please hold on a little while longer. No other, no other earth-shattering news came out. No new studies came out. It was just the politics got involved. The politics got involved and said, "Hey, we got to open up already. We cannot continue." But I just told the world we gotta be careful. We no move on. So the media really played this out. Everybody's excited. Oh, yay, yay, yay. But what the media didn't talk about was what she said right here. She said, "Still, CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky urged caution and said she would, quote, advocate against general travel overall, given the rising number of infections." That's what she said. Now, that was today. Did you hear that in the news? No, of course not. Not the Hawaii news. Not Lieutenant Governor Ige's. Lieutenant Governor Green's personal TV station KHON. No one came out and said this because they don't want you to hear this part. She is still genuinely concerned and still will advocate against general travel overall. Now, Charlie, and I'll let you explain this because you're the guy that talks about this all the time. Mixed message, maybe? You think that's a mixed message, Charlie? Or is that beating to the same drum? I think it's full of crap. I think
I
it's full
think,
of,
well, to answer your question, that is that is a very, very mixed message. You cannot, very emphatically state that you're worried, impending doom, right? And then make a statement, okay, we can travel, but then come back and say, but you're advising not to travel. How do you expect people to follow your advisory if you're telling them, hey, it's wide open, you can travel? So this is what I think happened, because some people saying, well, maybe they're doing this so more people take the vaccine. Well, that can be true, but guess what, gang? You got to get the supply of vaccine first. So I don't care what you try, okay? Because what's happening is, as an example, Kauai, we're ahead of the curve, right? So we announced that on Monday, right? Monday,
Mhm.
we're going to start vaccinating 16 and over. I know Honolulu is not at 16 and over. So that's why people get the mixed message. It goes, hey, we just heard. No, no, no. It's only for certain islands. So the thing is, everybody got to listen real carefully. But what I think happened is, after that lady said there's an impending doom, somebody at the White House said, Doc, come here, close the door. And that person told her, who the hell gave you permission to say that? You go and make another statement right now, and you be the one to look like pie on your face. But you put that statement out now. You should have never made that initial statement. Well, that's how the government rolls.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Biden came out. He made a very, very aggressive promise to get out 1 million vaccines in the first 100. Whatever. These politicians, they make all this crap. I think you hit it right on the head. Remember when we read the quote on the impending doom speech? He said, "I went off script," which means, you see, I think people have a hard time understanding, maybe not, that all of these department heads,
Mhm.
their speeches, their scripts got to be approved. I mean, it has to be approved by somebody. And that's why she went off script, because she couldn't, what she wanted to say would never have been approved. So she said it anyway, because I think she has a genuine concern for the people of our country, in our country. And then, like you said, she had to come back and make this silly retraction, but not a retraction, but she had to basically come out and say, okay, now, after I got my butt chewed, here's my new position. But then to cover her okole, she comes back and she says, but I'm going to continue to advocate for no travel. Cover the okole. Now, what? Okay, so of course, so the people that don't believe in vaccine, don't believe in
Well,
COVID.
before you go on, brother, let me say this, because I know you're hitting with this, but I just want to say this. Okay. What she did, the reason why I'm laughing, is like me. On camera, I start eating kale and I start throwing up because I cannot stand the flavor, right? And then when I clean myself up, tell you, who this thing is good. Do you believe me or not? Now you can continue, brother.
No, no, but all of the people that don't believe in COVID, right? They don't. They're only going to hear the part that benefits them. In fact, that doesn't go for only people that don't believe in COVID. Everybody will hear only what they want to hear. They'll hear what the part of what she said that fits right into their agenda. So the people like you and me and our viewers will hear what she said 3 days ago and what she said, that little excerpt that she put in there. All the others that want to go to Vegas are going to hear the part, if I get vaccinated, I can just go. No quarantine. No quarantine. And that's good. God bless you. If they're using this as an incentive to get people vaccinated, then fine. But why you gotta be so deceptive? You know, Charlie, I was thinking about this today because we're talking about all these um, vaccinated people not likely to get the virus. Listen, they're not getting symptoms. They're not getting tested. They're not being identified. The only ones that are being identified are the ones that get sick enough to go to the doctor and get tested. So you mentioned this in the past several times about the walking asymptomatics, Charlie, walking around the place, And see, that's the problem with this travel thing where no one will get any tests, not even a 3 day prior to coming test. No tests, no quarantine. So whether they're vaccinated and have no symptoms or they end up getting the virus and they end up getting symptoms, they're coming in contact with people every day on their travel, wherever they're going, whether it's Hawaii or, and they'll have no tests. Zero. Now Mike Victorino in Maui is saying, hey, Governor, I want the opportunity to test these guys when they arrive. Well, Mike, Mayor Victorino, CDC just tossed that thing out the window. They don't need a test. They
You
won't
know
need
what?
a test.
You know what I want? I really want to do. I would like to hire some of us, and our whole purpose is when people come out from the airport, right? No more mask or whatever. We're gonna be known as professional coughers. When we walk by, we start going in front of these people, and I like to see how fast they're gonna cover up or run away from us. We just purposely go in front of them and cough. You know, so
We go tomorrow. We go Kukui Grove or Walmart, Charlie. We just go start hacking all over the place. We'll hack. Maria, when I said no more tests, I meant travelers, not pre-ops. Understandable. If you're here and you got to go through surgery, you're gonna get a test. I'm talking about travelers coming here. There will be no tests. If they got vaccinated, there will be no tests. Zero. No
mhm.
tests before they leave. No tests after they arrive. Only if they get sick. That's uh, you almost gotta laugh because 3 days ago we were heading to Armageddon, man. We are just it's not good, and now it's just say go get your vaccine, travel the world. But I'm not telling you to travel. Hell no, no one should be traveling. But the CDC says go ahead. makes makes no sense at all. Zero. Just Charlie. You know, here, guys. One more time.
Remember now, gang, prayer can make you think straight.
That's right. I wish, and what that means is we gotta pray for those that are not making any sense.
And
We
what
gotta
about,
pray for them.
what about validation? That seems to be a topic there. I mean, hell, they're cracking down on fake PPEs that's being sold. Masks purported to be N95s. They're not N95s. Um, but what about vaccine cards that purports to be authentic and they're not? How do we go into this validation process now?
No, Charlie, because these people that are getting vaccinated and are
Yeah.
traveling, they would never use a fake vaccination card. Never. They're good people, Charlie. See, that's the problem with you. You always look at that's that cop in you, Charlie.
No,
I don't think there would be anybody
I
that
tell
would.
you, I tell you the reason why I'm a little bit skeptic of them because my cousin travels a lot and he's at an age that he can travel. He's been vaccinated, he and his wife. They went to New Orleans, they went to Vegas. But when he comes back to Hawaii at his own expense, he pays for 3 testing just to be sure. That's what you call responsibility.
Yeah.
We get damn fools crying the blues that the damn thing is too expensive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like travel. Pay $700. Go get 3 tests. Make sure that you're not bringing nothing back. No, they're not gonna do that. They say waste of money. Then you know what? When you guys like yap because too expensive, I get people telling me all the time, I'm gonna come because I want. We get friends who are snowbirds. They got vaccinated in Michigan. They're here now in on Hawaii. But did you know that they went and got tested over 2 times already? When they arrived, they waited, they stayed at their unit, their timeshare, They got tested 3 days after, and they got tested 7 days after, just to see where they're at. Now, tell me if that's not being responsible. But the rest of these guys out there, these jokers, they should talk a lot, but I just say, we don't have last time you got tested. Or I got vaccinated already. What
You know what?
vaccination? What vaccination did you take? Oh yeah, I got my flu shot and my pneumonia. I vaccinated.
This is again that just drives me nuts. I mean, beyond nuts. So the lieutenant governor a couple of days ago on the morning show, he has he you got to think about it. He's running for governor. He has a free segment, two segments every day on KHON. Um, but he tells us that if he is up to him, the card would be sufficient. As long as you can show your vaccination card, you should be able to travel wherever you want. Now, listen, first of all, Charlie, I was being totally facetious when I said no one would copy the card. And I know you know that. They're already selling it on the internet. They're already selling fake vaccination cards on the internet. That's going to be a huge industry. It is what it is. That's going to happen. Now, the governor tonight said, or this was actually yesterday, he said he believes it's going to take 2 to 4 weeks to get the logistics, the software, all of this stuff in place so we can validate the vaccination. Charlie, it's been
But
over a freaking year and we cannot fix unemployment. And this wizard, this genius is saying in 2 to 4 weeks, we could have created a system that will validate vaccinations from around the world for people to come to Hawaii because that is the priority. Unemployment over a year. And they cannot figure it out. But for this, 2 to 4 weeks, really, Governor?
you know him.
What the hell are you guys smoking? Or you guys just purposely stepping on the local people and messing with their unemployments? You purposely did not want to fix it. Because all of a sudden, for this vaccine logistic crap, 2 to 4 weeks, we're going to get it done. Unbelievable.
Guess what? Guess
That's
what?
what pisses me off, man.
Guess what? You're gonna have a whole flock of visitors, right? With that vaccine card, you're gonna have a whole flock of visitors overwhelming the system. Why? They coming in from Mogadishu.
Mhm.
Just
Exactly.
imagine. You know the Roberts employees that checking the stuff down at the airport. They go, Mogadishu. Is this in Japan? No, Mogadishu. What is that, Mogadishu?
This is what's going to happen, Charlie. Going to get 200 people in line coming off that plane, right? 200 people. Going to get two guys, TSA or National Guard, whatever, and going to get all these people with 100 different types of vaccination cards. And a guy going to come up and go, hey, bro, you get your vaccination card right here. Here. That's the virus. That's the corona right there. Oh, good, good. You good, bro. You good. And they're going to let me go right through. It's happening now, Charlie. It's happening now with the quarantine system that we have.
Can you
People
imagine when
come
these
through.
workers? Can you imagine when these workers go home? They go home, nakita lang. Are you Auntie Mommy? How was your work today? Oh, holy moly!
It just baffles me. And then you hear the guy from Hawaiian Airlines, the CEO. What is his name?
Avi,
No,
Ave
the
Maria.
CEO. The CEO.
Oh, of Hawaiian Airline.
Yeah,
Yeah, Junior.
whatever his name. I forget his
Whatever
name.
his name is. Junior. I call him Junior.
Is that what they call him?
Well, that's what I call him.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, we're gonna work with the state like they haven't already. Really, Avi Manis has been pulling the strings since day one. we're going to work with the states so we can get this implemented as soon as possible, make it more the most efficient for us. Of course, it's for you. Yeah, we're going to do what it takes.
Peter
And then
Ingram. Peter
Henry
Ingram.
Hanneman, another one, he comes on TV and says, I am imploring the state to move along and get this done. Guys, Charlie, I think the problem, and trust me, I don't wish this on nobody. I do not. I'm praying for these people. See, I'm praying for these people. See, Charlie, they haven't been touched by the virus, Charlie, like you have, like many people have. They haven't been touched by the virus. Obviously, they don't watch the Mel and Charlie show when we had our recovering victims or recovering patients of COVID. They haven't, or if they have, then they have no damn compassion for humans. That is, I think, they just do not understand this virus and the influence from corporate America is
Mhm.
so much more strong and lucrative for them than to be wasting their time trying to find out how these patients are surviving after COVID. They
This,
just they
this
have
is
not
what I don't get.
been touched by this virus other than reading a story or a newspaper article. They haven't seen the devastation of this virus.
But this is what I don't get. Countries like, because if you look at the spending trend, right? Spending trend as a visitor destination, that's what you would want. Someone who doesn't mind spending, right? So let's look at a spending trend like Japan, right? Have you been seeing any um, Japan visitors coming to our islands? No, why? Is because I don't believe they're allowed to travel, or they gotta face they have to face the quarantine
When they go back,
when they go back, right? So,
14
but
days,
yeah,
14 days.
so what makes their philosophy uh doable, and yet we're missing a boat? It's like, oh, that's okay. No, they're being pretty strict about it because they know how fast this thing can get out of hand. But we're in the middle of the ocean. We're like a little speck on a map. They talk about that big meteorite coming. If that meteor was just to hit Hawaii smack dead on, it would erase the entire Hawaiian Islands. That's how small we are. We're a small speck on the map. And so, we rolling the dice as if, and like I said, what can we do? We need to take care of ourselves. But I have I and what's it's saddening me is we've been getting a report that even on the frontline workers, we have some that's elected to pack up and leave some of our medical facilities. So it looks like, from what I'm being told, unless we still have to validate. I can't confirm from what we've been told is that the numbers of frontline workers as well as physicians, they're leaving Hawaii. So if somebody gets sick, who's going to attend to them? I mean, I can teach CPR, but I'm not an MD, nor I'm an RN, nor am I qualified in a critical care unit. So who's going to help them? You see, these are a lot of the variables that's right now that's already in play. It's moving, and yet everybody seems like uh, they seem like, hey, we going we this is the way I looked at it. We talked about it right before we went on the air. If Honolulu wants to be this way, then you know what, Governor, do away with the tier system. We just jacking everybody around by making one tier system. Get rid of it because apparently the numbers are on the rise, but they don't care because guess what? Right now, as it is right now, Honolulu is supposed to be going back to tier two based on a tier system, right? They're supposed to be going back, but they're not. So why even have a tier system?
Yeah, no, you're right, Charlie. I mean, they got to maintain those numbers for whatever it is, a week or 2 weeks or whatever, and then go back. But the governor is Blangiardi isn't willing to move backwards. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll see how these numbers play out. You see, the problem using Hawaii's numbers the way we count is you get that 2 days, the weekend counts, which drive the average down. So it's
Mm.
not a real accurate number to begin with. It's 2 days late, and that weekend lab counts are low. So you affect the average of the numbers. So that's a ridiculous system the way they have it. But they did it to encourage the to move to progress through the tier system to get things open. So mission accomplished, guys. Now your numbers are climbing every day. You're up 80 something today. You'll
82.
probably be over tomorrow. It'll probably be over 100 because we're still counting weekday numbers. But they're not. They're not. Look. This is political pressure is powerful. It's strong. And I know Sue Kanoho is on. Thank you for tuning in, Sue. I know I saw you post that about we're not allowed to go to Japan. Maybe you can expound on that. I wasn't aware. I thought we could go to Japan, but thank you, Sue. Maybe you can put that in the comments. Would appreciate it. But listen, there was a whole barrage of news stories about the cluster at the Maui church, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every news article, every news, 50 people, 55 people, it extended into a school and into a workplace. And the State Department of Health told the church not to have in person services. Please do all virtual, especially for Easter. So last night, the pastor on the news says, we got permission from the mayor. We got permission from the mayor. So this morning's news, they had Mayor Victorino on the phone, and he says that he did give them permission, but they assured him that it's going to be safe. They assured him that they were going to follow the protocol. Where in the hell do you come out? You go to a place that has a cluster and say, ah, I understand they're in a predicament. Oh, they have a constitutional right. We really cannot touch them because they're churches and they have the right to
Assemble.
practice their religion. And okay,
Assemble.
Sue just said Japan has closed the borders for U.S. Thank you, Sue. Is that a hint? You think that's a hint, Charlie? You think
Well,
that's a clue?
someone just said, thank you, Sue, but someone just wrote that Hawaiian is sending flights over to Japan. Maybe what, just to go
For the
sightseeing and no
Japan,
land. Yeah, they're flying to Japan, but they're not gonna land. They're just gonna fly around, take pictures, and then they come back.
as for the Japanese tourists, the ones that come and go back home for 14-day quarantine. Yeah, unreal, unreal. So again, what is it going to take?
Hmm.
Is that cluster? I just found out today. This one anyway. Yeah, I don't know what it's going to take, Charlie. I don't know what it's going to take. I don't know what it's going to take.
You
50,
know,
60, 70 your cluster.
when I
Um,
when I read the mayor's statement, he goes, "Come on, let's not no stigmatize. Can happen anywhere." And so that's why I told him, "You're right, Mayor Victorino. You're right. Can happen anywhere. But guess what? It's happening on Maui." So I don't know what statement you make. All I know is it's happening on Maui. So it's Maui has already had its fair share of uh, spooky things happening at Maui Memorial. People going in with no COVID and leaving with COVID from that hospital. So that's already one. Uh, wasn't it the vaccine that was they forget close the refrigerator? Wasn't it up there, or was it in? Oh
yeah,
no, no.
it's Maui.
Yeah,
Uh,
they. Oh, I know why. The investigation revealed the last person because his ice cream. He used his ice cream sandwiches in that ice box. Did a deep freeze because he was kind of soft. He wanted them a little bit more hot, and he forget lock the door good. Yep, that's the one. That's the one. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
in Marian Manitin, thanks for that. In Mayor Victorino's defense, he did offer them the use of the stadium, Maui Stadium, which is a good thing, I guess. If you're gonna cave into the church and say, we don't like you do in-person uh, services, but we're gonna let you. But if can you try use our stadium so we can maybe spread you guys out a little more? I mean, that was, I guess, a lesser of two evils. And listen, guys, you see, I don't wear this because I don't believe in God. Trust me, I believe in God. But you don't have to go to church to worship. You don't have to go to church to communicate with God. And I from months and months and months and months ago, I always question why did we allow churches. Right now, I get complaints every day, and I am not exaggerating. I get complaints every day from people here on Kauai that are complaining about churches that don't wear masks, don't social distance, and I've reported it to the enforcement people. Um, it's not about church. It's not about church. I mean, you do the same thing at a restaurant or a place of business. That if Walmart had clusters of 50 people, you got a whole bunch of things you got to do. You got to isolate this virus, and you don't do that by allowing people to go right back to do the activities that created the problem to begin with. Listen, this can be a temporary thing, but it won't be temporary if we keep acting stupid. And I mean, no disrespect to the church. I mean, no disrespect to anybody. I'm just being straight and real with you guys. If you want to get rid of this virus, then stop giving this virus an opportunity to spread. We are doing that. Humans, our local people are doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not about a church. It's about a breeding ground for this virus, churches, funerals, weddings, all of these things that are wonderful breeding grounds for COVID are being. Honolulu just opened it up again, and they wonder why their numbers going up. I mean,
You,
hello.
if you know what's so funny, and just taking it from a law enforcement standpoint, if you had a person who just committed a murder, okay, maybe a high profile individual was murdered in the state of Hawaii, right? I can almost guarantee you that person's picture, everything will be already be done at the airport, at all the gates, at all the checkpoints, right? But yet, when we have something like this that's still, I would say with certainty that if we were at the tail end of this virus, then I would urge the government to make a statement and say this pandemic is over. Then we'll call it a day. Just call it a day. But they're not even willing to do that. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to be um, in the middle of the road on this thing, and you cannot. You end up with the basis that you're going to be only be kicking a can down the road. That's all you're doing. When you have countries like Japan that closing off its borders to U.S. travel, I mean, it says that their government cares for their people. Can we say the same for our government? I don't know. And I'm not saying that, you know, because we've always said this before. We can learn to coexist, but you got to do it in a safe manner. So by taking away all the safety measures, are you doing it in a safe manner? If that one element will determine how safe it is, if you remove that, what you're saying is that, oh, because a person has been vaccinated, then you need to explain. Then why did 10 people after a month by getting their second shot, why did they still get sick? That's the ultimate question. Nobody has figured that one out yet. Nobody has even addressed that issue. All we know is they got sick. Okay. So what do? You brush it under the rug? Is that it? It's like, shh, Uncle Charlie, no say nothing because we're gonna open up travel. Come on. We're talking about, you know, that means that I possibly can get sick. I took 2 shots. I possibly can get sick. Do I wanna push that issue? No. I'm gonna do my part. But all you're doing is you breeding this sense of, you know what, let it roll. And it's like they said, right? I made a best person, made a best person win. This is now a game here. And if you want to treat it like a flu, because isn't it true that every year they tweak the flu vaccine a little different to address all the new changes with the seasonal flu, right?
Mhm.
So are they saying that they're going to be changing this vaccine for the coronavirus every year because you having variants coming about? And one of our viewers said something that was very, very important today. The lieutenant governor is saying by the summertime, right? We should be wide open because of the vaccination, correct? Okay. If they're saying that right now, the best guesstimate is the vaccine will last about 6 months. That's what they've said, right? Numerous times. What about the guys who took the vaccine in December? That means that by June, the thing will be run out already. You're back to square one again. Yep.
Yep. So this guy gonna get his vaccine card in
It's-
December. June, by what they're saying, the vaccine may have run out of its usefulness, but you still get your vaccine card. Or are they going to have to tweak the system and say your card has to be 6 months, not older than 6 months? I mean, they're not even thinking about those things. And if they are, they're not talking about it. It's
Mhm.
not that simple, Charlie. That is a heck of a point you brought up earlier about that 6 month. You're gonna get booster shots. I mean, that's it's gonna be like it's gonna end up being like the flu vaccine, right? Every year you get a new one. How the hell are you gonna track all of that? It's just beyond me, man. It's beyond me. I know there was some posts about Easter and Christmas are the big services for churches to raise money. Listen, my church is New Hope here in Kapaa. Pastor Matt Higa, he has not returned to in-person um, services. In fact, they do online. They've reached a larger audience because it's not just local now here in Kapaa, and it's done a lot of good things. And I think if the church is compromising the safety of their members because of money, then shame on them. Shame on them. Really. And I said God wouldn't do that. I mean, the pastors are all human, but listen, guys, why would you want to go into an area that just had a cluster, a pretty good sized cluster, knowing that uh, you may get sick? So I don't know. I guess I don't buy that the money. I understand everybody gotta raise money for their church, but I think with the technology of today, I've seen some amazing services online, and every one of them have a link to click
Mhm.
to make your give your tithes. So it is what it is. I mean, you believe what you want. I'm just saying that if we are going to if we want to isolate this virus to the point where we can get back to normal, um, we got to sacrifice a little bit longer, guys. And if we don't do that, then this thing is going to be around for a while. It's going to be around for a while.
Well, I do want to ask our viewers out there that you will have to rely on your will to keep yourself safe. I thought that the government would take a more proactive role, and we've done everything they've asked. We've sacrificed, but now they're leading. I feel as if they're leading us down a chute that's that's kind of dangerous. And then if any one of you run into danger, you're really gonna have to dig down deep to get out of it. Because remember now, these numbers reporting, these are not done by um, random testing and all that. It's somebody had to initiate by ending up at an urgent care or at a doctor's office because they weren't feeling good, getting a test, coming out positive, and that person saying this other people was close to me. And those people were called in to take tests, and bingo, they got nailed by it. Okay. That's how this thing is done. This is not the H Street tunnel, gang. Remember the H Street tunnel? This is nothing like that. This is actual people getting sick. The numbers we are talking about today are actual people getting sick. And that's a big difference from how it was before. Big difference. And so now what they're telling us is again, you vaccinated, you're good to go. CDC releases the news that, hey, if you're vaccinated, you can travel. But we advise you not to travel. How can you expect people to follow you when you're giving them the green light to go and go screw off? How can you? I mean, what was your committee on it of was your communications committee comprised of third graders from Kaneohe Elementary that made you foresee that? Say something on one hand, but yet tell us another thing and leave this entire community in a world of hurt by confusion. That's what happens. So all I'm saying is, please, 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 do me a favor. Uh, you know, just wear your mask. I mean, that's been proven. But always gonna get jokers that don't want to wear masks. And I said, you know what? You have every right just to cough close to them, and see if they're gonna flinch. You saw that you saw that video, eh? What they did in the mainland. They
No.
get this guy. He's like the mass patrol. He get one baton. So this other guy that's playing the part, he comes by with no mask. He starts beating him with the baton. So everybody sees that. Everybody starts putting on their mask. They did that at a shopping mall. And the thing seemed to work because everybody said, "Hey, I don't like get beaten up." They start putting up their mask, and it was kind of hilarious. But do we have to do that? Do we have to start coughing in front of these people just to make a point?
Yeah.
And I know some of you wrote about that lady from Kauai. She was arrested twice, huh? The one that making a
Livana.
big, yeah,
Livana.
Levana Vida. Well, her Loma is her last name, Levana Loma. I call her Vida La Loca or something, whatever. She got popped twice, eh? The Lolo.
And she's not going to stop because she's promised that she's just not going to follow the law.
Well, then I mean, don't you have an escalated? Don't you have a floating scale where the next time she get arrested for the third time? Oh, I'm sorry, 5,000. Uh, there's nothing in the law books that says third time, so we're gonna give you for not following quarantine. Here you go. Your bill is set at $1 million.
Yeah, she's that girl is just, she had her 15 minutes of fame. She needs to shut up already. No, she really does. She needs to shut up. She's just so irritating.
Is she from
And
Kauai? Is she from? Oh,
I don't
she's
think so. I don't
she
think so. I don't know.
moved there. Oh,
You know, I my tolerance has dropped so much, because of all these knuckleheads that run around. So, when I read the first story about this knucklehead, yeah, she's a knucklehead. The second and the third and the fourth post, I don't read them already. I already know she's a knucklehead. I don't want to get more angry, so I just don't read them. Let it go because that's just a knucklehead, and she's gonna be a knucklehead, and you know, I just hope she don't get sick. I really don't. But she's living that dangerous life, and yeah, Kiala, she's mentally ill. Absolutely. You pray for these people. That's what I'm trying to say. We pray for everybody. Every night I lay my head down, I pray for everybody. I pray to give our governor, lieutenant governor wisdom. It's not working, but I don't know if God is testing him. I'm not sure. Testing me. I'm not sure. But what it's done, it's given each of us the responsibility or the opportunity to chart our course going forward. That's all. So, you know, I thought that we would have and I thought we did a great job of rallying the troops, getting the messages to the people that needed to get the message. We needed get the experts on the show that could share facts and science. But like I said, it's clear that that's not what this our state leadership is interested in. They're not interested in science. They're interested in money, in corporations and business. And there is a balance to that. And I'm not saying that we should discount business and getting people back to work. I'm not saying that at all. But I believe the track that they are on is a dangerous one. And it's not being done in the best interest of the people of this state. Yeah, it's being done in the best interest of the businesses, but at what cost? I mean, how many people? Yeah, I heard Blangiardi say it's not about the numbers; it's about hospitalizations and deaths. So I wonder what his number is. If it's not cases, what? How many people got to die before we start going backwards? That's kind of how I took it. So it's unfortunate, but we learn a lot about people in these types of crises. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. And I hope, Charlie, I hope that tomorrow the numbers are down to 80, and I hope the next day it's down to 40, and the next day it's down to 10, and the next day it's down to 0, and the next day we have no COVID. That's what I hope, but it's not going to happen. And unfortunately, as the governor said a week or two ago, on the way he said it was so funny. He says, "Our numbers are going in the wrong direction," and he's right. He's right.
Well, here's the thing to consider. Every time we get these numbers, right, the reported numbers of cases today, you notice they never release any report that says that out of that 82 on Oahu, out of the 30 something on Maui, and so forth and so forth, they don't tell you how many of them are fully vaccinated.
They ain't gonna tell you, bro.
They do that afraid. They're like, oh, because if we say that over 50% have taken the two shots nearly a month ago and they sick, oh, did we just open Pandora's box? Or maybe Lena Allah's box or whatever box you want to call it, right?
Mhm.
The thing is, they should be telling us that kind of information so we know that, hey, if they took this vaccine, maybe the CDC should start tracing a lot number so and so Moderna or lot number so and so Pfizer or J&J. They took the shot and they got sick. Then maybe they got to look at it, right? Just like how when they had people that got adverse reactions, they wanted to know the lot number, right?
Mhm.
Right? What lot was it? And they wanted to take a closer look at was there something in there that could have caused those kind of allergic reactions. But you don't hear anything about that. Interesting. Because why? Our job is just to tally up the numbers. Well, you know what? You can get a trained monkey to do that. Gee whiz, what the hell?
I think they have an untrained monkey to do the numbers now. I honestly think they got one monkey from the zoo and they gave him one pencil and one paper, and that's how we're getting our numbers from the state. I really think. I mean, you're right. A trained monkey could do it, but they don't have a trained monkey. They have an untrained monkey. And I'm talking about a real monkey, not one. I'm not calling somebody one monkey. I don't get it. You
It's
know, Kauai, we are so lucky on Kauai. For those of you that are not on Kauai, as you said, I watched the news tonight. They said we had 5 cases today. They're so messed up. But Kauai, as soon as they find out about the positive case on Kauai, after the lab and the Department of Health submits their daily, and that's how I know that Honolulu, they don't need to do a 2 day delay. Kauai doesn't have a 2 day delay. We're not talking about 100,000 cases a day like some places on the mainland, and we're talking about a very small number that could be managed every day. Kauai does it. Why can't the state do it? And we get told adult, child, male, female, resident, visitor, travel or not travel related. Now, why can't the other counties do that? It's not that they cannot, it's because they choose not to. You see, because we know that the vast majority of our cases here on Kauai, and we had 4 yesterday, we had 1 today, I think, and we had 4 a few days ago. We're loading them up and we haven't even opened yet. But the vast majority of our cases are travel related. And that's what the state does not want you to know. They don't want you to know that.
Well,
And
let me.
that's why I have a problem with the way they report.
I want to read something from one of our viewers, and I hope she's will get better. She said, "The vaccination doesn't protect you from getting the virus. I had to go into Queens urgent care, and I had coughing and shortness of breath, and they told me even though I had my second dose 4 weeks ago, they needed to COVID test me as I still could have contracted the virus." So she's waiting for her results.
We have proof that has happened so many times. We've had proof here in Hawaii with healthcare workers. So we know what we know that. I mean, we the one thing we do know, and I'm very happy about, is that we know that by getting that vaccine, your chances of getting seriously ill or dying are very, 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 very slim. We know, but we don't know about if it prevents you from getting the virus or passing the virus. We were supposed to wait for that results to come back in before the CDC did this passport thing, and but they just cannot wait. I think the lobby is so strong from airlines and visit industries and corporate America, and I think they just giving up too and saying, "What? Go for it. You guys want it? Go get it. We'll deal with the aftermath." And that's where I'm concerned that unlike the mainland where you can get medevac or ambulance to a neighboring county or neighboring city or neighboring state, you don't have that over here. You don't have that over here. So, to compare us to the mainland is foolish. It's foolish.
Well, that what I just read, she responded. She did get her results back. She came back negative, which is a good sign. Which is a good sign. I'm happy.
Yeah.
But I think what we just have to do again, like I said, now we keep in contact with all of our viewers because they've been so faithful. They've been so faithful in following us day in and day out, and it seems like I want to be optimistic and say everybody will be fine, but yet there's still a level of danger because we just don't know how this thing reacts. I haven't heard anything from uh, any of the expert yet. They talk about all the different variants, but what we do know is Dr. Hostes, from the Brown University, the expert, he talked about the B.1.1.7, which is the UK variant. And that one seems to be really raising havoc in the US because it's just spreading so fast. So now it's that race between the variant and the vaccines, right? It's moving at it's increasing so much at any given time. And if that particular variant gets ahead of the vaccination program, then you can basically kiss the herd immunity process, what they're trying to shoot for. You can kiss it goodbye. You can kiss it goodbye. And maybe they're gonna try herd immunity through the body's own process of getting infected and developing its own what antibodies, right?
Mhm.
They're gonna try them that way. But again, how many people can get sick? and withstand that trauma for that period of time. Because if it was like the common cold, common flu, then we shouldn't have people, not 500,000 people dying from COVID. No way.
Yep.
That should have never happened. It should have never happened.
And I think that's what separates COVID from the flu. I think not only the amount of people that die, but the lasting effects, the long haulers, the COVID
Hmm.
symptoms or effects that last for a very, very long time. Um, Especially with the respiratory area, the respiratory therapy these people got to go through. Many of them never get back to pre-COVID. That's what separates this from the flu. I get so pissed off when people reference this to being like the flu. The only thing similar to the flu is that the vaccine may require a booster or a new vaccine every year. That's the only damn similarity. And yeah, you get the similar side effects after you get the shot as the flu. Yeah, yeah, you get the same with every other vaccine. Doesn't mean that all the diseases are alike. This is not the flu. And it just bothers me when people still, it's just like the flu. Do we shut down for the flu? Did the flu kill 500,000 people? Did the flu kill 500,000 people in our country, in America? No. There are people at home on oxygen machines because they had COVID, because they had the flu. No. Yeah, did people die from the flu? Absolutely. Did people die from catching a cold? But this is not the flu, and people got to understand. They got to understand that. So the problem, Charlie, and I know we're wrapping up, but the problem is with these mixed messages, these conflicting messages, these minimization of this virus. You cannot blame the people for letting their guard down. So while one side of your mouth you're telling people don't let your guard down, on the other side you're telling people it's okay, that we're in the best place we've ever been, that we can return to normal soon because everybody's getting vaccinated, but don't let your guard down.
Hmm.
That is what's hurting. Rather than just be straight up and honest and deal with it, and keep the public informed and educated with facts, they're choosing to go down the route of looking through this thing, looking at the virus with the rose-colored lens. So everything you look at is all nice and rosy, and that's good. I guess if you're running for governor, you want to do that, but that's not good for the people. It's not good for the people.
I will share with you this one thought, and you hit the nail on the head, Mel. I just wish they would just come out and just be honest and just say, you know what, we haven't turned the corner yet. We want everybody to, you know, lead a normal life, but we still have some dangers. And just be practical. Just say, we have some dangers, not as much as before, but there's still some dangers. I think people can handle that. People can handle that because they know that it's promising, right?
Mm-hmm.
Promise is over the horizon. But when you and what's so odd about this whole thing is that when you get someone like the lieutenant governor, and I know he's in a business of rah-rahing because he has to change his image. He has to get his votes for because when he did a 180 on everybody, everybody just bashed him. They gave him the nickname Flipper, right? He
Mm-hmm.
flipped his position from the okay. So I understand he has to go and try to redeem himself. Okay, one thing I don't know if people are that forgiving because it if you flipped your position is one thing, but to call people stupid, you remember he made those statements and he
Mm-hmm.
called people stupid. That was like, okay, now you and step over the line with that one. So I don't think people are going to forgive him that much when you start calling people stupid. Maybe if he apologizes, who knows? Some people have a soft heart and accept his apology. But the thing that really baffles me right now is the fact that he will say one thing on air, promising to open up. Okay, really, we have nothing to worry about. Then tell me, Lieutenant Governor, why are the numbers rising for? Okay, give me a scientific reason why are they rising. If this is a common occurrence that it's going to rise and then peter out and then we'll be back to normal, then tell me that. But I look high and low for the answers for that, and I just cannot find out why is it rising for, even if as slight as it may be. The thing is, it's rising. You don't have a zero count. You don't have any counties, including Kauai, okay, including Kauai. You don't have any county right now that's zeroing out. Why is that? And I just wish and pray that he would kind of you know he would just give us the reason why. I respect the title, MD. Okay, fine. I know you went to school for a while to get your license. Fine. But like I've said before, when you intertwine politics and medicine, you're not going to get on pretty picture. You should leave the medicine, you should leave the science to one side and politics to another. And to me, politics should never be fighting this pandemic in Hawaii. Should never.
Yeah. Yeah, he called us fear mongers. He called us cowards. He called us all kinds of things. I mean, he whatever. He's on a mission, and whatever. Um, but you're right, Charlie. I think the messaging, the minimization of the messaging, is going to cause people more relaxed mindsets. They're going to go do things that they didn't do 3 months ago, 4 months ago. Because
Hmm.
if you listen to him, he makes it seem like everything is so much better, and the numbers are rising. That's what I don't. If the numbers was stuck, like you remember when Derek went and opted back in for the inner island, he got a lot of flack, but he had to. The numbers were not moving. The numbers were good. Imagine if Derek had opted back into safe travel as our numbers were climbing.
Hmm.
Now he would be skinned alive. And that's what's happening at the state level. The numbers are rising, but yet we are acting as if we were not. The actions of our state leadership, and the governor is kind of quiet actually. He hasn't really come out. He didn't respond to the newspaper, the news TV news people tonight, and they said because it was a holiday. But he's tired, I think, of contradicting what the lieutenant governor is saying. But we'll wait and see what he says on Monday. But this is not the time to be relaxing your restrictions. This is not the time to be encouraging people to go out and do things that are not safe. And the
I
fact
can
that, huh?
I can almost guarantee you what Governor Ige says right before he go on camera. He must be talking to one of his staff. Tell him, okay, what did that knucklehead say? Tell me now so I know what to say when I go on camera.
it's pretty clear that they don't talk to each other. I mean, again, Josh Green is on a mission to be the next governor. He's going to do whatever he has to do. He's going to say whatever he has to say. And in his mind, and maybe he's right, because we have a very small audience compared to the state. Maybe he's done the poll. Maybe the poll said that 80% of the people want to open up the state despite COVID, and that's what he's doing. But there's definitely no science or medicine backing up his decisions or his suggestions. There is none. Dr. Altenberg made a very good presentation for us the other night, and he knows he's all based on facts and numbers and trends. So whatever, whatever, man.
Mm.
We will just have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. Well, Charlie, it's 8:04, my man. It's Good Friday. Let's let these people go. Any closing comments for from you to our viewers, bro?
Yes, I would like to wish all of you a happy Easter. Make this weekend a safe one for you. Um, whatever you do, just let it be a safe one, and just operate as if caution is always in the wind and it's coming to you head on. Just be cautious about your surroundings. Keep your mask on, okay? Because I'm pretty sure that one day we're going to have that expert come on and say that the coast is clear, that we can all celebrate until that time comes. But right now, it hasn't been said, nor is it being touted any way, shape, or form. Haven't seen anything like that. So we just have to be careful. I'm glad to see that some people are getting back to work, even the hotels. But you got to use caution too. So I hope those of you out there, our viewers who work in any of the hotels here on Kauai or anywhere in the state, I hope you got vaccinated. Hope you got your shot. But again, use caution always because you don't know if it really is going to. I'm pretty sure it's going to minimize. That's what they talk. Minimize the symptoms. So therefore, if you do contract the virus, you shouldn't be able to transmit it. There's let's talk about that. But again, nobody has actually come out and said, no, this is this, or yes, this is that. So I hope the viewers, you heed the warnings. That's the only thing that I can leave you with. But I want you to have a safe weekend. You know, the weather here on Kauai may not cooperate, but you know what? Thank God we live in Hawaii and we can wake up another day to get that fresh air, start all over again. But let's just be sensible about everything that we do. Mahalo to you, Brother Mel.
Right on, man. Yeah, I spoke to my son this morning in Oregon. I said, "How's the weather?" He said, "Man, it's sunny and hot." I said, "Same here. It's 80 degrees." He says, "Yeah, it's in the 60s." It was sunny and hot. Hey guys, thanks for joining us tonight. Real quick, the hearts are from me and Charlie. We love you guys, man. We do. We are Ohana here. We are family. We care
Yes.
about you guys. You know, we pray for you guys. We pray for our leadership. We pray for everybody. But now we got to be safe. We got to be prepared and we got to stay vigilant. You guys all know what we need to do: the mask, the disinfecting, the hand washing, the social distancing, the avoid gatherings. That is second nature. So now more than ever, we got to practice that. As
Yep.
we open up, I talked about it in the beginning of the show. We're not going to stop this train. We got to coexist. Whether
Yep.
we like it or not, we got to coexist. And we can coexist making sure that you're safe and your families are safe. That's my plea to you folks on this Good Friday. Happy Easter to you all. One of the biggest days for Christians. Um, just going to pray to God and ask for His help because, like my shirt says, prayer changes everything, guys. We love you guys. Stay safe. God bless. We'll see you guys on Monday night at 7 o'clock. Aloha.